Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are playing The Novelist, and in the last episode, we kind of upset Linda because of how many people were coming over. She apparently didn't want her parents over, or I guess Dan made her not let her parents come over. It was kind of odd. I was kind of surprised they all didn't just come over, but whatever. So Linda wasn't able to have her parents over, but we got some more work on the book done, and Tommy has further bonded with his friend. So we're going to keep going here. Now, the title of this episode, this chapter, whatever, is The Bottle, which does not quite give me much optimism heading into it. Town list. Go to library. Out of books again. Check community board for babysitters. Swing by the wild. New movie playing. Drop by Dr. Walker's. Call ahead. Okay, that's Linda. All right. Oh, there's their fort, I guess. Oh, he put the picture there. Okay, so I can't even activate it. So the picture's just staying there. Cute. All right. See a note on the wall here. Trash bags, aspirin, salad dressing, beer, a case, popcorn, Ogburn, bread. What is Ogburn? I do not know what Ogburn is. Ah, Tommy is sad. Seeing Dan type, and there's a bottle in the drawing. That's not a good sign. This is the first time we've seen anything with a bottle, though. Like, an alcoholic writer is cliche and surprisingly not something that I am. At least not stereotyped that far. My drink of choice is Pepsi. But, I will say the crippling depression is part of it, but that's a whole other issue.
I know I wrote yesterday, but I need your advice. I think Dan's drinking too much. And before you start to worry, let me say he's not an alcoholic. It's just because of the pressure he's under trying to finish the book. But you know Dan's never exactly been a health nut. He isn't gaining weight yet, though even that's just because alcohol kills his appetite. So he's hardly eating at night, which is another problem altogether. I don't think he sees what he's doing to himself, and I don't know how to break through to him about this. Sometimes I just want to say it's not like I have to get drunk to paint, but I know that's not the most mature way to handle it. Sorry for dumping all this on you. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Do you have any advice about how to talk to him? Yours, Linda.
Hi.
Do all writers not take good care of themselves? I sure as hell don't take good care of myself. For me, it's a lack of eating and downtime. Like, I'm just stressed about everything. And, you know, I just, IGN just put more work on me to work on the guide. So that's even more stuff that I'm going to have to do. Or that's less downtime I'm going to have this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to something that's happening on Sunday. Although, by the time this episode airs, it'll be a few Sundays ago, I think. But, I don't know. I don't take good care of myself, because I put everything I have into work, and part of the reason I do that is because it distracts me from all the voices and demons in my head. So, I don't take great care of myself either. But drinking, at least for me, has never been a problem. I've never really gotten into it, not even as a social drinker. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, it never helps, so I don't do it.
Hey man, this is gonna sound odd, but I could use some advice. I'm in hot water here because, well, I've been drinking more lately. Man, there's just no good way to write that. I mean, I used to drink and write all the time in school. You remember that, right? I guess I got away from it when we got married, and definitely after Tommy came along. But he's in bed by 8:30 every night now. And let me be clear, I'm not blacking out or driving drunk. You know I'd never do something like that. I just have a few drinks while I'm working, safe and sound in the house. A writer who drinks isn't exactly unheard of. Wow, could I sound more defensive? But here's the hell of it. It's working. It's brought back that college hunger, that energy, and in the last week or two, the book's just singing. I don't even know what I'm asking here. Maybe I just wanted to start the conversation. If you get a chance, give me a call. Dan.
See, that's something I can't relate to because I don't know. It's not something I can relate to because I don't really know like even when I drink or even when I don't drink, or there's nothing I do or don't do that, as he puts it, makes the book sing, except music. Like I listen to music to force myself into certain moods and then I can write better, but I've never had to worry about drugs or alcohol in my life, so it's something I don't really fully understand. For better or for worse. I don't know, maybe I would be better. There's a friend of mine whose name I won't mention on the air who apparently opened his mind with weed. And I've heard of artists who say that, and I've never tried it. I've never even tried cigarettes. So I don't know if that would work for me, and I don't really care about trying to. It's just weird. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know how it would work since it's not something I've ever even broached.
Write drunk,
you know?
edit sober. Apparently Hemingway said that. Or maybe someone else did. It doesn't matter because it's true. To write, you have to be fearless. You have to make choices and plow forward. Surprise the reader. Surprise yourself. Make something that matters, not something safe. What does drinking do? It suppresses inhibitions. Yeah, there are typos, but that's what copy editors are for, and it's not like I'm drinking all day. I'm fixing most of this stuff myself each morning. Or early afternoon, I guess. I'm not stumbling around drunk all day and pissing myself. I'm trying to create something they'll remember me by. No one can imagine how stressful it is unless they've tried it. The pressure's so bad I just want to give up sometimes. On those nights, a drink is the only way to turn my mind off and get some sleep. When the book is done, I'll dial it back.
Dan's being a little too defensive about it. It's kind of bothering me. Maybe my drug of choice is games. Maybe that's how I do that to turn my mind off, but I don't know. Even that, I mean, I get it. Like I can understand where he's coming from because I have those feelings myself, but again, like I said, I've never gone the alcohol and drug route, so I can't fully get behind him on that. I don't know if getting the book done is worth your health, but that's easy for me to say since my book is not getting me anywhere. Like if I knew for a fact that putting my health at risk would get me to be a bestseller, would I do it? I wonder if I probably would.
One more time. Pretty much every night he's either super focused on his novel or too drunk for us to spend a regular night together. That used to be our time. We would put Tommy down for the night, have a glass of wine, 2 at the most, and talk about our days or maybe listen to a record. Now, I'm lucky to get 1 night a week where he's sober and not writing. Most nights he has a bourbon. No, wait. Make that 4. And I read in bed until I fall asleep. He tries not to wake me up when he comes in, but you're never as quiet and graceful as you think you are when you're drunk, and in a dark room, no less. Of course I want his book to be great, but I also want my husband back.
I'm favoring against. I don't know what. That's probably a contradiction in terms, but I'm feeling against Dan in this one. If what he's wanting is his bottle, because he was just trying to. He wrote that letter to try to justify it to himself, or have someone justify it to him that the drinking was fine and whatever. So let's see what everybody wants, and then I can make my choice. But if what Dan wants is more peace and quiet so he can drink his bourbon, I think I'm going to choose against him. I want to make sure that... I mean, I missed something of Tommy's again. Every day I seem to miss one clue somewhere. Hi, Linda. Getting all up in my face. Let's see. Oh, this is different. Assembly time approximately 3 hours. Required tools: Phillips screwdriver, soft-faced hammer, half-inch wrench, socket recommended, and 7/64-inch hex key. 7/64-inch. I use metric at work, so that's weird as hell. Just give the millimeters. 7/64. Okay, let's see what you want, Tommy. Yes, I get it. Where's the thing to explore your... There it is. Oh, I had to get closer, not further. Alright. So I guess the picture there is just how his relationship with his dad is coming along. Like, I haven't really been paying attention to it all that hard, but it's either his dad's smiling or whatever, and I mean, I guess that's how he communicates the choice I made in the previous night, you know?
But he promised.
If he doesn't do it, I'll help you, honey.
Okay. But is Daddy too sad to put together my car? Now, see, that's what I do. That is one thing I do to help clear my mind. To tell you a quick little story, as if this whole game hasn't been me telling stories. But anyway, I felt a little vindicated when I watched one of the coolest documentaries ever. It's called 6 Days to Air, and it talks about how Matt Parker and Trey Stone do an episode of South Park, because generally they have no idea what they're doing even a week before the episode actually happens, which is just insane. And then their people work like 100-hour weeks to cram it in there. I mean, that's crazy, and I don't know if I could ever do that. But one of the things that he says, I think it's Trey Parker who says it, he has a collection of Legos in his office, and when he has trouble thinking, he likes putting things together, especially Legos, and especially following the directions. He makes a point to say that he never gets creative with the models because, you know, doing the show takes that creative energy from him. So he does the models to the instructions, and it helps clear his mind and free him. And that's part of the reason why I like games, especially management games. Like action games don't do it for me, because with action games it's kind of twitchy. But with management games like Football Manager, I have to think about numbers, and thinking about numbers and logic and, you know, A plus B equals C helps me get away from trying to pull a plot line out of the ether. So maybe my drug of choice is games for that reason. Which reminds me, I have some simulations I should do for the channel. But anyway, let's see what Linda's memories are. And of course, working on the channel helps me too, because, you know, since I'm not Markiplier and I don't force myself to get overly creative here, I can just talk and relax and play games with you guys, and it gets me through some of the rougher patches, like all my stress I have right now.
Why don't you stop at 2?
I'm fine.
Oh, he sounds fine. I don't mean that facetiously. He actually does sound fine. Why does that face the wall?
Mom tried to hide it, but I can tell when she's disappointed. I hate that they couldn't come, especially after they tried so hard to make time. Maybe if she'd called before they changed plans, it would have gone smoother. It's impossible not to think about the rough patches Mom and Dad hit without thinking about Dan and me. I should bring that up to him and see what he says. He's mentioned their history before. I'd love to hear his answer when I make the comparison. Can he talk his way out of that one?
I thought you guys were doing better. Well, maybe one good month or one good date certainly couldn't erase all the bad that was happening. Okay, what do you want? His jogging shoes are right there. He just has to make the effort. Okay. Alright, where are you, Dan? Where have you gone? Not in the office. We're not in your bedroom. Oh, there you are. Maybe shouldn't send that letter. What letter? What are you talking about?
Tynan and Kelly left this morning. I wish they could have stayed a little longer, but it was great having them. It felt just like college again. Fishing, having a few beers, talking about how we're going to conquer the world. Working through some issues on his book even gave me an idea for how to fix the logjam in Act 2. Funny how creativity works sometimes. I've got to remember to put him in the acknowledgments.
Damn straight. I wish I could get far enough to have frickin' acknowledgments. Ah, bitterness. I want my book to succeed, damn it. That's what I want to do for my life. More than anything else. At least Dan got far enough to have one published work. Or even 2, and this is what, number 3? Or is this number 2? Anyway. You tripping over the sofa? You're tripping over the sofa. The love seat. Pour a bourbon and work on the apartment scene. No, dude, you're no. Just no. So we've got everything. All right, we're gonna build the car, and we'll compromise off Linda's desire. Wait, no, we won't. Her desire is to make him go jogging. Forget it. We're gonna just do the Tommy thing, and we will not compromise off of it. We'll just have him build the car. Yeah, that sounds good. Then maybe he'll be able to pour all of his efforts into that and stop being so freaking stressed about the book. I say freaking as if, you know, I'm... Oh, maybe I could compromise off... Nope. We're not going to compromise off Dan. I was going to say compromise off Dan. Have one drink and write. Nope. Not going to happen. We're going to see what happens if we just stick with Tommy here. I don't see as many... Or I don't see any glowy diaries. Unless there's just one in the master bedroom. There's none? There are no glowy diaries. That's kind of suspicious. I don't trust that. I'm going to do another quick run through on the house, because I don't believe that all of a sudden there would be no glowy diary. Because I don't think we've learned everything there is to learn about our ghosty pal, so... Oops. Central light. There we go. Yahaha! Exactly. Come on. There we go. Controls are a little finicky. Diary of K. Williams. I have decided, and I am sure of my decision. I do not know which is right or wrong, only that my choice is my own. It took 3 days. 3 days alone, letting whatever calming influences here, for I am sure there is something, guide my thoughts. I thought about Jay, and talked with Jay in my mind. And I know that this is right. I cannot think about the path not taken, only the one ahead. I would assume that means that Kay is going to not kill himself because... Or herself, because if Kay killed themselves, then there would be no reason to even write that whole sentiment, so... I don't know. Anyway. Alright, help build the car with Tommy. Dan had a moment of clarity when he saw Tommy's pedal car lying half-assembled on the floor and realized it had been a week since he'd done any work on it. He was ashamed that his constant hangovers had kept him from making his son happy, so he got to work and finished the pedal car the very next morning. Tommy was overjoyed, and he rode it in the yard for hours. That's good. Linda couldn't understand why Dan was so reckless with his health. A few nights later, when Dan tripped and fell while trying to undress in the dark, Linda got fed up and threw one of his running shoes at him. When he saw the bruise on his arm the next day, he was ashamed about how long it took for him to remember where it had come from. That's good, isn't it? Except he can't write. Dan put all of the alcohol back in the kitchen cabinet and promised to stay dry on work days, but he had a hard time focusing while he adjusted to writing sober again. He spent a couple evenings staring at a blank piece of paper, and he never told anyone how hard it was not to sneak down to the kitchen for a drink those first few nights. I think part of the reason it's easier for me and I don't need any drugs or alcohol is because I'm convinced that my writing sucks anyway, so it doesn't matter what I do. And so it's easier for me to take the chance because I just assume it's going to fail no matter what I do, so I may as well try my best sober. Anyway, the road ahead, the summer came to an end, and Dan faced a different something. I don't know. But the implication is that tomorrow's going to be our last episode because it'll be the third part of the third month, which is apparently the last part of the last month, so we will see. So hopefully tune in tomorrow for what will probably be the conclusion and see how our family turns out. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow for another one.